Hi guys, welcome.
Today is our Wednesday stretch class. I'm just going to let a few more people jump on. As always, make sure that you've got a nice clear space to work in. We're not going to hit any furniture or children. Good guys. Hello, so just come in. If you've not worked with me before, my name's Leah. I'm a senior trainer here at 10. We're going to be doing some stretching. So as always, please make sure that you follow the advice of your medical professionals. Okay, let's get moving. So if you can bring yourself down onto your mat for me. Afternoon, hi. Hi guys. So coming down onto our mat, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and we're going to start with a little bit of thread and needle stretch. So you're going to take your first arm off, doesn't matter which one, palm up to the ceiling and back of the hand on the floor there. And you're going to slide that hand under. As you do that, bend your supporting elbow, reaching through until you can feel that nice stretch through the back of the shoulder blade. Take a breath into that space, and then as you exhale, you're going to bring the arm back through. Same arm is going to unthread and start to reach up and out, opening through the chest. Inhale at end range. And exhale to change. So same arm, threading under, we're looking for that stretch through the back of the shoulder. And then as we come out, looking for that stretch through the front. So a really nice one if you're spending a lot of time on hunched over laptops, working from home. It can get a little bit sore and stiff through there. So keeping that moving through rotation. Let's change to the second side. So other arm now sliding underneath, palm up, reaching through, looking under the armpit there, nice deep inhale. Exhale to unwind, opening out through the chest, deep inhale at the top, exhale change. Make sure as we come underneath, we're bending the supporting shoulder soft through the elbow. And try to keep the arm closer to the body or to the knees than the arm as you come through. Last one. And then coming all the way back out before resting back onto the heels. Take a moment to give the shoulders a little roll. If it's more comfortable to sit onto your bum, then do, that's absolutely fine. And I'm going to have the hands just out by my sides in this wide V shape, reaching the fingertips down towards my mat. I'm going to drop the head heavy to one side. Keep pulling those fingertips down. We're going to take a semicircle, roll in the head, chin to chest, and ear to the other shoulder. Breath in when you get there, and breathe out to reverse. And we'll just keep those semicircles going for the moment. And as you do that, keep thinking of reaching the fingertips down so we've got length down through the side of the neck into the shoulder. We also want to think of keeping our collarbone widened so that the space across the chest opened out. We've got that length across the pectoral muscles. The next time you come to the side, just stay there. We're going to take a few more breaths here, and you might want to rest the top hand just gently on the head. We are resting it there rather than pushing. And I'm just going to turn the other palm forwards as I reach those fingertips into the floor. And then in that same position, I'm going to start to just turn my face towards my armpit. Nose down, chin in towards that armpit. And breathing here. Nice deep breaths. Filling up the back of the lungs. And then exhale, deflate. Slowly coming back through center. And we'll repeat that onto the second side. So we're going to lower the head over. Reach the fingertips down. If it's comfortable, we'll rest that arm on top. No pushing, just allowing that to sit. Turning the palm forwards. Lengthen that spine up tall as you pull the fingertips down to the floor. Focus on that breathing into the bottom of the lungs. And then just turning the head so face is going to the armpit. Breathing here. Last breath. And then coming to the center, releasing the arm and head. Give the shoulders a nice deep roll all the way back and down. And we're going to come into a side sitting position. So I'm coming onto the side of my hip. I'm going to have one foot forwards as if I was doing a butterfly stretch with that bend in the knee. And the other leg is going to extend out to the side. And once I've done that, I'm going to press the sit bones down into the mat so that both sides of your bum are touching that mat underneath you. And we're going to take some spine twists. So arms coming out to the side, we sit tall. Pressing down, sort of like a corkscrew. So as the arms press down, the body grows taller. And you're going to rotate towards your leg and back to center. And that rotation isn't affecting the pelvis. So you try not to rock your sit bones around. Keep them equally weighted. And you're just rotating the rib cage, or the upper body and torso. Nothing below the waist is moving. I'm going to do 2 more of these twists, and then we'll take it into a saw variation. So at the moment, just working on our spinal rotation. Now this next one, hold it there. We're going to let the arms come across, and I'm going to point my thumb at the back down to the floor, point my thumb at the front up to the ceiling. So down at the back, up at the front. We're bringing the little finger now towards the little toe. Without lifting up one sit bone, you can reach forwards into that stretch, looking at your back hand and imagining both arms being pulled in opposite directions. Taking the inhale at your end range. And then exhale, return back to center, and we'll repeat the same side. You can keep that going in your own time. We're going to do 3 more. So we should be feeling that nice stretch under the bottom of the leg and openness through the hips here into those inner thighs. That lovely spinal rotation as we reach around. We're looking for that stretch around the side of the back here. Tuck your L muscles. Finding some length in the lower back. The next one we do, we're going to hold. So taking that nice grow tall before we twist, and then as if the arms are being pulled in opposite directions as you reach around. Looking at that back hand, sorry, breathing into it. Nice deep breaths, reaching, weight forwards in those sit bones. Just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming slowly back in. All the way to center, rest the arms and give the shoulders a little roll. And we're going to bend this outside knee now to our mermaid position. Here, we want to still have our sit bones down. So if that's painful on the knee, you can come back to the original start position if you prefer. But if we can, we're going to go into our mermaid. So sit bones down into the mat. Other hand is planted into the floor. I'm going to reach up and over through a side bend. So anchoring the hip down, sliding the rib cage away from it to get that lovely 2-way lengthening through the obliques. Soft shoulder. We're going to rotate the chest towards the hand that's on the floor, still keeping our bum down on the mat. Rotating as far as we can. Sweep the fingers down. Sweep back up. Feel that length under the armpit as you now turn into a side bend and back down with that arm. And we repeat on the same side. Soft through the supporting shoulder. We don't want to sit into it and have our ear rested on it. Press out and soften the elbow. So still keeping those sit bones pressed down, so we've got that 2-way stretch. Finding length through our obliques and just moving the body through lateral flexion and then through rotation. Mobilizing the shoulders. Getting everything moving. We're going to hold this next one. So we're coming through the side bend and then we're turning to really stretch through the side of the back here. Reach the fingertips away wide. A nice twist through. Let the neck relax, just breathe into that space. For a last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwinding all the way back through to center. We'll take a little counter stretch, just reaching up and over. Just breathing here. Send that breath into this stretching space just for 5, So bringing the other leg in now, and the other one out to the side. And we'll start, of course, with those spine twists. So arms out by our sides, sitting tall, pressing down. We're going to take a little twist around, and then grow tall in the center. Think of that corkscrew. Both sit bones equally weighted, so try not to sit into one side. Press both bum cheeks down onto that mat. Keep thinking of being pulled by the top of the skull up so that we're elongating that spine in both directions, creating space between the vertebrae. The next one, we're going to start that reach across. So thumb down at the back, thumb up at the front, the arms keep going. We reach over to the little toe. Back arms pulling back and down, turn to look at it. Deep breath in at end range. Exhale, we stack all the way to center. And repeat. You can keep that going in your own time. Use that breath. So we're feeling the sides of the rib cage, back of the rib cage. Expand as you inflate and closing on that deflate. Two more, and in the second we'll hold. So last one. Reaching in both directions, creating space in the shoulders. Sit bones heavy. Turn to our back hand, nicely breathing into that space and stretching. Just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwind all the way up and in. Rest the arms for a moment and give the shoulders a little roll. So we're going to take this leg now, if we can, back into that mermaid position. Remember, if it's a little painful, keep it extended out. And we're going to send our sit bones down into the floor. So we've got both bum cheeks on the mat, the hand away from the feet, plants itself down, and we reach up and over through our side bend. So our hip is pressing down. As our ribs slide away from it, we soften our supporting elbow into that side bend. And then once you're there, we're going to start to turn the chest towards that hand that's on the floor as the fingers sweep down. Sweep back up, reaching away through those fingertips so we find that length under the armpit as we turn back to our side bend and unwind all the way back. You can keep that going in your own time. Again, we're looking to try and keep both sit bones down. We're looking for our stretch under the armpit into these muscles here, serratus, lats, all the way down into the obliques there as we come through that side bend. And of course, as we take our rotation, still anchoring that hip, looking for that stretch all around the side and the back now, down into the lumbar as well. We're going to do 2 more and then hold the second. While you're doing that, guys, I'm just going to have a little breathe to make sure we're all okay. Lovely. Oh, hi. Alrighty, in that hold, nice deep breathing. Press that sit bone down, reach through those fingertips. Soft shoulder and elbow. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back up all the way through the center. Rest those arms, and we'll go into our little counter stretch, up and over. Just breathing here, just for 10 seconds. Feel that opposite stretch through the side. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way up and in. Give those shoulders a little roll. We're going to sit down with the legs outstretched in front of us. And you might find that you want to sit on a block or a couple of cushions, or you may even need to bend the knees up. So we want to aim to be starting this right up on our sit bones with our spine up nice and tall in that vertical column. So if you can, we'll have those toes pulled up with the heels pressed away. We're going to have the arms just slightly wider. So we've got a nice wide open chest, relaxed shoulders. We're going to breathe in, grow tall. As you exhale, we're reaching forwards, pulling through those fingertips. And at the moment, I'm trying not to slouch my back over. So I'm finding that length hinging from the hips. And then when you've gone as far as you start to allow the hands to come down, the head to drop, the elbows and shoulders to soften, let the neck go. Heavy sit bones though, take a nice deep breath to really fill and expand the back of the rib cage. And then as you breathe out, you're going to start to reach forwards, reversing that motion, looking for that long line to restack it on top. And you can repeat that, guys, just in your own time. Remember, if it's a little bit much, try a block or a couple of cushions underneath your bum, and then maybe try slightly bent knees if you need to. So we want to be working on the length through the calves and the hamstrings, but also getting that lovely stretch through the back at the same time. And again, if you can, pull those toes towards you, press out through those heels to really feel that lovely calf stretch. Always taking our inhale at end range. Maybe you want to stay there for 2 or 3 breaths, a little bit longer. Still keep it moving for now though. Finding that length to restack. We're going to do this for about another 20 seconds and then we'll take a hold all together. Everyone okay? Good. Lovely. Perfect. Okay. It's coming up in about 10 seconds if you need a little reset or wiggle. So finishing the one you're on. We're going to once again find as much height as we can through the spine. Reach as far as we can, reaching with those fingertips. Nice length through the tailbone to the head. And then we're going to reach it over. Heavy head, but let the shoulders, let the elbows go, release. If you've got the range, you might want to take a hold of the feet, but do make sure that your shoulders aren't tensed up by your ears. So if you're going for that foothold, draw the shoulder blades down. Draw the elbows in and still let that head hang heavy for me. We're going to stay here for another 20 seconds, focusing on your breathing. We're almost there, we've got another 10 seconds. And then we're going to stay just for a little bit of rotation. So if you are in your foothold, just take the feet to the top here. If you've got the knees bent, we're going to do the same thing here, but with an arm raise up and under. So from there, turning to look at me to start with, under that armpit. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, change. Inhale at end range, and exhale, change, so that you're looking, even if you're here, under that armpit as you come through. Or if you're holding, we're still looking under there. Getting that little twist. Now as you're doing this, try to keep your sit bones pressed out, so that as you take that little twist under, you're not lifting up on the other side. Press that down so we do get that lovely twist. We'll do one last one each way. And then when you finish that one that you're on, we'll come back through center, reaching out and through and back up. Very nice. We're going to do the same thing now in our butterfly. So soles of the feet together, knees wide. To start with, just place your hands behind you and have a little tuck under. So as if you've got a tail and you're going to tuck it between your legs and have a little rock gently, not jerky movements, just from side to side. You might even want to tuck to a point where you're slightly lifting the bum here. Draw those shoulders down, just find a bit of openness. We can start to do some figure eights. Good, just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Coming back to a comfortable high seated position. Arms out in front, take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to reach it forwards. Same thing as before, when you've gone as far as you can, let the hands come down, let the elbows and shoulders rest as the head lowers. Inhale at end range, and then exhale, reach to find that long line to restack. If you want to stay there for a little bit longer, we can stay for 2 or 3 inflating and deflating breaths before we restep. You might find that you want to bring your feet a little bit closer if you're starting to feel a bit looser, or equally if you're not comfortable and you need to go a little bit further away, that's fine as well. Still got that option to keep the block or those cushions under the bum as well. Give you that little bit of extra height. The next one we do, we're going to hold. So we're reaching out and forwards. Find that space, find that length. When you've gone as far as you can, sit bones stay heavy. As we lower the hands, soften the elbows, let the head hang. Focus on that breathing into the back. For another 10 seconds. And then reaching up to restack at the top. Give the shoulders a little roll. We're going to extend the legs away and we're going to bring one leg, let's take the back leg to begin, into a figure 4 position. So that knees out to the side, the ankles over the thigh, far enough that there's no pressure on the joint. Sit bones heavy. Now, it might be enough of a stretch for you. If it is, stay there. If not, hop the hands behind you and we'll bend in the bottom knee towards us. Careful not to sit back in our shoulders though. We want to think of pressing our body forwards into the legs. Equal weight through those sit bones. And we're going to take a very small little rock if it's comfortable. Still both sit bones down, pushing this knee wide, so don't bring it into your chest. Press it away. As you rock over and back to center. Lifting up and out with that chest. You can even have a little arch in the back here if you're trying to stick your bum out behind you. So we're increasing that stretch. Good. This time it's going to go all the way down to the floor. So if you are in that straight position, bring that up now for me. We're going to pop it all the way over. So the foot comes down. I'm going to hug the knee in. Send the opposite sit bone into the floor. So I've got both sides of my bum on the mat. This hand can give me a little bit of support as we reach tall and spiral away from that leg. Breathing here, just as far as it's comfortable. You might want to try and hug the knee a little bit tighter. Still sending the sit bone down, growing tall. And then slowly back through the middle, and we'll repeat that onto the second side. So legs extending. Other leg now coming into that figure 4. So ankle on the thigh, there's no pressure on the joint. Knee is wide, sit bones are equally weighted, and you might want to bend in that one knee. Pushing the chest up and out, lifting out of our shoulder and elbow joints, breathing into that space. And then if it's comfortable, we're going to take that little rock. So keeping both sit bones down, don't let the knee come in, keep that pressed down away as well. As we rock over, breath in at end range. And exhale, return. We're going to do a few here, and then we'll come into that hugging stretch again. Good. 2 more, and then we'll bring the foot all the way down. Is everyone all right there? Beautiful. Good, guys. 2. Holding the second. Popping that foot all the way down, hug it in tight. That sit bone is right down into the floor. A little bit of support from my back hand to spiral up and around. And then nice deep breathing into that stretch. Try to keep the sit bone down and spine reaching up nice and tall. Remember, you might want to hug a little bit tighter. Slowly coming back all the way around to center. And the last one we're going to do today is working on the front of the hip a little bit more, coming into some hip flexor stretches. So if you know that you've got a hard floor or the knees are a bit sensitive, you might want to roll over your mat or pop your cushion under your knee. Feel free to hold on to something for support as well. We're going to step the back foot forwards to begin with. So stepping out in front, making sure that it's in line with my hip. Same with get this knee onto that hip and the foot out behind it. And I'm going to tuck the tailbone for this one. So rather than sticking the bum out like we did in our glute stretch, curl the tail under. So we're finding our leg through the front of this hip flexor. Maintaining our rib to hip connection, so back arching. We're going to start to press into our front knee a little way. Still squeezing the glutes, still tucking on that tail. And the ribs knitted together. Breathe in at end range. And exhale to come back. We want the hips to stay pointed forward so they're square with our tail between our legs. Inhaling at the deep part of that stretch and then coming back. You might find if you've got a bit more range that you might need to bring your foot a little bit further forwards. Just be careful that you don't find yourself with this banana back position. Close that rib to hip connection. Tuck that tail. Option, if you'd like it, to take the opposite arm, so that's the same arm as the knee that's on the floor. Up and over into a side bend, making sure not to swing the hips to the side. Centering all the way back. Side bend as you squeeze the glutes and come forwards. We're going to do 2 more and then we'll hold the second. Scoop those abs, find that rib to hip connection. Pressing into the deepest part of that stretch now. Maybe reaching up and over into your side bend. And we're going to keep breathing for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming in, changing to the second side. Same thing here. Maybe give the hips a little wiggle if you need to. Other foot stepping forwards. In front of that hip, knee is underneath its hip on this side. Think of the foot positioning as well. Curling that tail under, pressing into your stretch. Nice deep inhale when you get there. Exhale, coming back. Just check the alignment of this knee. We don't want that rolling in or out. Keeping it aligned with its hip, going directly forwards. And option, of course, to take your side bend on this second side if you need to. Being careful not to arch the back. We want all that lovely extension coming from the hip rather than the spine. So we're holding our rib to hip connection, keeping those hips square, using those abdominals as we move, drawing that belly button in to help us maintain that position. We'll do 3 more with a hold on the last one. Adding that little bit of oblique stretch in our side bend, increasing that psoas stretch as we do. Making sure our hips are still nice and square. Holding this last one. Tuck that tail, knit the ribs, scoop those abs. Breathe for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely, guys. Well done. Oh my God. Give the shoulders a little roll and give those wrists a little roll out as well. And we're all done for today. So thank you for joining me. I hope you feel a little bit looser after that, especially on a Hump Day Wednesday. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. I will pop this onto IGTV and I will pop my Instagram handle there as well in case you wanted to contact me directly. Otherwise, guys, have a lovely week and I'll see you very soon.